everybody, it is April and I am in my craft room. I am getting ready to give you a tutorial on how you can take an image that you've gotten on your phone, from the internet, wherever it is you found an image that you think needs to be on a shirt or needs to be on a wine glass in vinyl or heat transfer vinyl, and you can use your Silhouette Studio software to trace it and make it so that you can cut it out in vinyl or paper or whatever it is you want to cut it out on. So without further ado, this is a long video, but it does go through step by step, and sometimes tracing can be a little tedious, so just to forewarn you. But once you watch this video, you can put anything you want from anywhere you can get it on a shirt or a glass or a tote or a pillow or wherever it is you want it to go. Thank you. Please subscribe. I always forget to say that at the beginning of the video. Give this video a thumbs up at the end if you like it, and please hit the notification bell so that you can get more tutorials like this. Thanks. So here is my screen, and I am in the Silhouette Studio software. So what I'm going to do is, I have my mat. I'm going to click File. Only I need to be in Silhouette. File. Open. And then go to my library that has what I'm looking for. Here it is. This is my trace panel. So I'm opening up my trace panel. I don't like these colors. I'm going to click down here. There we go. I couldn't see the colors very well. So if you click down here in the bottom right hand corner, it says change theme. I think there used to be more themes. Looks like there are 2 now. Okay, so I'm going to select my trace area, and I'm going to put a box around my fighting cardinal. Let's see. And what I'm trying to do, okay, so there I lose my images. So I'm trying to get it cleaned up enough. Actually, at 26, it looked pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at 26%, and I'm going to trace, and let's see what happens. So now I've traced the image. I'm going to remove the image. And I have a pretty good trace right here. Let's make him bigger so we can see what he looks like. That looks really good. That is like amazing. Now, I need to do some more because I want it to look like this when I cut it out. And right now, it's just one big piece, and it's not going to look like that if I cut it out. So what I want to do is I want to right-click my image and release the compound path. Now this is going to break everything up. So this is where you want to be careful. I try to start with the largest pieces and separating them out and work my way to the smallest pieces. So it can be a little tedious, but it just depends on how badly you want the image, and I want it pretty badly. So I'm going to drag this guy over here, and let me X him out. Alright, so here I have what my final image, what I want my final image to look like. So in the very back is white. So I'm going to grab the very back, and that's going to be white. I'm going to, okay, it's already a compound path, so I don't have to change it. And I'm going to go up to the upper left-hand corner and pick what color I want it to be. So there's my white background. Now, the next layer should be black. And that's going to be my hat, that's going to be the L, that's going to be behind all the red, and then my white should just show through. So let's see, let me get, I've got a cat in my lap. Let me get this and make it black. So up again, up to the upper left-hand corner. I'm going to black fill, and then I'm going to put my white behind him. Now, pieces of my black that I want cut out to be white are still not visible. So if I were to do this, I would have to cut out some more white in order to get the collar, the brim of the hat, the cuffs of the shirt, and the rest of the shirt here, as well as the heels of my shoes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it back and try and put it in the right spot. And I want to attach to this image the pieces that I want to be cut out of the black in order to let the white show through. So let's start with, I want the black. Let me get my white out of the way so he doesn't cause any issues. Let's move this back. Okay. And we can zoom in a little so we have a better view. So I am going to choose, I'm going to click on the big piece of black. And I want to move this over a little bit more so that I can see the rest of my image. Okay, so now I'm going to hit Shift. And I'm going to choose a cuff. Let's see. Okay, now I'm going to hit Shift and choose a cuff. It's not recognizing the cuff separately. Wait a minute, I think because I didn't make it a hand. Okay, got my big image. Now, when my cursor is a hand, nope, it just does not like that. Okay, so we're going to do it backwards. I'm going to choose the little pieces first and then choose the big image. So I've got my cuff, it's got the box around it. I'm going to click Shift and click my other cuff. Alright, let's try this again. I'm not making it a hand, and that's causing me issues. Or I'm not making it a hand in the right spot. Nope. Okay, there. Got my one cuff. Let's see if I can hold Shift. There we go. I've got my second cuff. And I know that because I've got this box around it. Now, I want to choose this. I want to choose this piece. I'm going to hit Shift. And it's given me a hard time. I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. Okay, I think I'm going to drop back and punt here. I'm going to pick the big image. I'm going to drag him off. Alright, so now I'm going to get my little images that I want to be white. So I've clicked the cuff, and this way that background isn't in there causing me trouble. I'm going to hit Shift, and I'm going to click that cuff. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see. So see, there's a box around that cuff and there's a box around that cuff. And the whole point of this is to pick these images without moving them so that I can attach them to the black, weld it, and then these pieces will cut out where they're supposed to in the black, and I don't have to do as many layers or as much. There's probably more weeding, but I don't have as many layers. Okay, so then I'm going to pick this. And actually, I think I'm going to have to do something first. Okay, before I even start all that, I need to pick my L. I need to hold my shift key and pick the brim of my hat, and I need to make this a compound path. That way it is one piece and the L will be cut out when I make it white. Otherwise, the L is a separate piece and I don't know that it would work as well. We'll see. All right, so starting over once again, I'm going to click my cuff. I'm going to hold the shift key, I'm going to click my cuff. I'm going to hold the shift key and I'm going to click the little white of the shirt, or actually that's probably more of the background. I'm going to hold my shift key and I'm going to click the shirt. I'm going to hold my shift key, and this is also white because I'm looking at my image. This is red, so I don't want that. This little piece is white, so I do want that. Whenever I can click outside of this big box around it, around the image, I try to do that just so the software doesn't get confused as to what I'm trying to click. Okay, so I've got the two cuffs, the white in the shirt. I've got this, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this. I want to get my hat brim, so I'm going to hold the shift key and click. As soon as you click without holding the shift key, you lose all of them being selected. Okay, hold the shift key and I'm going to pick the eye. Alright, so I've got that. I need teeth. Again, I know this can be tedious, but I really want this image on a shirt. Okay, so I'm going to hold my shift key. I'm going to click each little bitty piece. Okay, that didn't work. Hold my shift key, click. Oh, those teeth might be together. Okay, hold my shift key, click. Hold my shift key, click. Evidently those two front teeth were together. Alright, so, because when I clicked again, it unclicked the whole thing. So I was wrong. You can click as long as you're holding the shift key. Once you click and you're not holding the shift key, then that's bad news. Okay, so these two teeth are together and all the others are separate. So again, you can see that what you have selected because you have gray boxes around them. Okay, now I need the heels of the shoes. And actually they have every other one of these. This one's white, this one's white, this one's white, that one's white, and the other one's yellow. I think they're all going to be white in mine. Okay, I'm going to hold the shift key and I'm going to click. And then I'm going to hold the shift key and I'm going to click. And I'm going to hold the shift key and I'm going to click. You just have to be really careful. I'm going to hold the shift key and I'm going to click. I'm going to hold the shift key and I'm going to click. I'm going to hold the shift key and I'm going to click. So close. Okay, and the heels are white. I'm going to hold the shift key. I'm going to click. I'm going to hold the shift key and I'm going to click. Now, I've chosen all my little spots that I want to be cut out of the black to be white because my background is white. Now, I think I have a plan. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to make this a compound path. So what that's going to do is when I pull these images this is all the stuff that I want cut out of my black. So let me zoom out a little, and then I'm going to drag this over to my black. So we kind of I made this a two-step process. So in a minute, I'm going to put those two together, but I want to be able to put them on the mat so I can see better, see what I'm doing better. And I missed a white right here. So let's drag him back over. I didn't want him. Let's drag the white back over. And I'm going to put him back where he's supposed to be. All right, I think it's pretty close. So I'm going to click on the hat, the brim of the hat, because that is part of my white. And I'm going to click Shift, and I'm going to click, that clicked the whole thing. So I clicked Shift. Now let's see. There we go. Okay, so I've got all my other white, and I've got this little piece of white that I missed. So now I'm going to right click, and I'm going to again make it a compound path. So let me drag it over, and let's see if there's anything else that I forgot. So this is red. This is red. This is yellow. And the yellow is going to go on top of the black. So I'm going to do what I did. There's a tooth. Okay, so I'm going to drag it back over and see if I can't get that little tooth. All right, let me put the teeth back. That tooth is telling me exactly how to line it up. And I'm going to zoom in so I can try and get that tooth. Okay, I've chosen the white. This little bitty tooth is missing. It wasn't part of that tooth. I'm going to hit Shift, and I'm going to click that tooth. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to, again, make a compound path. So that, I'm going to zoom out. Well, let's see what else I forgot. Okay, so this is red, red, yellow, red, 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 yellow, yellow. Okay, red. So I'm going to make this beak with the little hole in it a compound path so that it will cut the hole out. Otherwise, it's a separate piece. So I'm going to click the little nostril, I guess. I don't know. Hold Shift, click the beak, right click, make compound path. Then when I color the image, it will be yellow. So let me undo. Okay, and let me color this yellow, which is the color it's going to be. You know, beak color yellow. That's kind of an ugly one. Let's see. Ugh, I just keep getting worse and worse. Close enough. It's my vinyl color that really matters. So see, it made everything yellow, even this little piece here. That's not what I want. I want that to be a cutout so that it will cut a hole and I can let my black vinyl show through so it looks like a hole. Okay, so I'm going to once again click that. I'm going to hold my Shift key. I'm going to click the rest of the beak. I'm going to right click and I'm going to make it a compound path. And then it has a hole here, and when I put it over the black, you'll see the black show through, just like in the image. Now, I'm going to click him. Shift, click the finger, Shift, click the hand, right click, and make it a compound path. That way all those pieces are together. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the tail. I'm going to click this little piece that's off to the side. I'm going to hold Shift, and I'm going to click the big part of the tail. and then I'm going to hit Shift, and I'm going to click this little opening on the tail. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to make a compound path. Then when I make this red, I'm going to go up in the left-hand corner and pick red. I've got my cutouts just like here, and my black is going to show through. Now I want this to be red, and I'm kind of doing it backwards this time. Whoops. Okay, that's red. Let me zoom out a little so I can see my other image. This is red. And if I color the pieces first, then maybe it will be easier for me to put them all together. Okay, that fist is red. This fist is red. We've got his tie. And that is red. And we've got another piece of his tie. And that is red. And that's it. Except for shoes. Okay, so shoes are yellow. So I'm going to pick yellow. That yellow is growing on me. And yellow. Alright, so now again, I don't want to move anything because I want my image to be cut out like this so I can weed it and then just put it down. So I'm going to click the tail, and then I'm going to hold Shift and click the back of the head. I'm going to hold Shift and click the forehead. I'm going to hold Shift and click the knot of the tie, the rest of the tie, the fist, and the fist. I think I have all my red. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to make a compound path. Then all these pieces should be together. And they are. So I'm going to drag those over here. Last but not least, I'm going to click my beak. I'm going to hold Shift and click both feet. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to click Make Compound Path, and there's my beak. And click outside, and everything should be together. Now let's get this black together, and I'm going to drag this, but before I do that, I am going to make this white. Nope, I don't want to do that because I want to combine these two together. So let me get this yellow out of the way and this image a little bit out of the way. Alright, scroll, kind of make it in the middle. Okay, so now I'm going to strategically place this on the black. I'm kind of just going by where the cuffs are to see that I have it in the right spot. This L kind of lines up there. This cuff looks pretty accurate. Okay, so this image with the L in that is selected, and now I'm going to go up to the top where the hat is outside of the box. Kind of makes it easier for me to tell if I've included it. I'm going to hold Shift, I made it a hand, and I'm going to click. And now that should be everything. Now, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to make this a compound path. The reason that I don't group it is because I want these pieces to be cut out of my black. So if I grouped it, it would just group it. It wouldn't make these individual parts cut out of the vinyl. And the reason that I want those cut out and not just part of this grouping is because when I put this white behind it, the white, just like in this image, will show through. Scoot it over a little bit. Okay, so if I don't have the white, you can see the lines, the grid lines of the the mat. So that means it is going to cut that out. Then I've got my red, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to bring this to the front just so that I can line it up and make sure it looks good. And there we go. Let's see, we can move it over a little. That looks good. See how the black shows through my tail feathers. And then we've got the yellow. We're going to right click it, bring it to the front so that we can see it. I'm going to put his beak, line up his beak, because that's probably the best piece to line up. And there we've got our fighting cardinal. So now I have a layer of white that I'm going to cut out. I have a layer of black that I'm going to cut out. I have a layer of red that I'm going to cut out, and a layer of yellow. Now the yellow, I don't really have to have that so far apart, so I will probably release the compound path. I'm going to put the compound path back on the beak because I want that piece to be cut out. Okay. So you can tell, you can see the line. So that will be cut out and the black will show through. And then I'll just put these pieces together so I can use a smaller piece of vinyl. The red, you know, I don't know, we'll see what happens with that. I'll probably just waste a piece of vinyl with it, really. Honestly, maybe not, because I may, whoops, sorry, clicked too many times. This might be glitter, so we'll see. And then I've got the black and the white. Okay, now, final thing to do, and it probably, yeah, it would matter because my L would come out backwards. I can, this red line around here, I need to make that go away. No, I don't make that go away. It is not coming to me right away. I thought it was the cut border, but that's not the cut border. Oh well. Sidetracked, easily sidetracked. Okay, so I'm going to put a box. I'm going to drag a box all the way around the whole image. And then I am going to right click, and everything I do with the mouse you can also do up here, but for some reason I just like the mouse. You can also do it with these options across the toolbar. Everything can be done in multiple places. For some reason I just like to do it with the mouse. So here, we'll mirror image it, and we'll use the toolbar, and we'll flip horizontally. And there we go. There, I've got my image. Now the beauty of using Silhouette Business is that I can save this as an SVG, and I can cut it out on any machine that cuts out vinyl. So I'm going to File, Save As. I'm going to save it to my hard drive. I'm going to name it Fighting Cardinal. Oops. And I'm going to change where I'm saving it. I'm going to save it in my Crafty as Can Be folder. And instead of saving it as a silhouette, I'm going to save it as an SVG. And that way, if I wanted to cut it out on my Cricut, I can do that. So, I'm going to click OK. And I've got it saved. Alright. I hope that this tutorial was helpful. You can take just about any image you find And the image on this, or the resolution on this image was very low. I was really shocked at how good a job that the Silhouette Studio software did. The Silhouette Software Studio is awesome, don't get me wrong, but you can only do what you can do with a low resolution image, and it handled it beautifully. I know it seems a little tedious, and it is a little tedious, but like I said, I wanted the image to put on a shirt, and I couldn't find it anywhere. Trust me, I looked for an SVG file somewhere and found nothing. So now I've got one. I can cut it out, and I will share with you when I do that. If you liked this video, please click thumbs up. If you would like to see more videos like this, please subscribe and click the bell for notifications. And I will see you in the next tutorial in April's Craft Room. Thanks. Bye.